y'all. This is Sonya. Hey. I just have to tell y'all what just happened to me because it was really, really amazing to me. I was in Target and I was getting a few groceries and I was standing in the line. Now in front of me there was a conversation going on. There were a couple of young Caucasian women. Behind me, there was a couple of guys with they looked like they could have been um Indian or something. And behind me there was an older white lady, and behind her, there's a couple more people. So one of the girls said, "Yeah, I was doing this and I was doing that, and that fucking nigger did this and nigger did that." And at that point, behind me, you could hear this big, like everybody had just got the wind sucked out of them. Now, mind you, I'm the only brown girl in this line. I was the only person who was not offended. The lady behind me, honey, you shouldn't say this and you shouldn't say that and you shouldn't say that. And, she looked at me like I was going to get my feathers all ruffled up. And she said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Ma'am, let me explain something to you. What she did was show her ignorance. I'm not going to pop off at the mouth, curse her out, whatever she thinks she's going to do, because once you put yourself in the box of what people recognize a nigger to be, then that's when you become that thing. I'm not caught up in people calling me names simply because of the fact that does not define me. What defines me is who I am, the choices that I make, the things that I do. A word cannot define who you are. And that just made me think about all the people who are being bullied and being called names and getting caught up in things that people say to you. It hurts. And I know it hurts. But what we have to realize is there are people that are set in place to hurt you. And when they do things that hurt you, it builds up a defense mechanism. Now, what needs to happen with this hurt? This hurt needs to be used as a repellent. Therefore, from now on, when people come at you with that same crap, you will be able to withstand and let it bounce off of you. As long as a person does not physically put their hands on you or approach you in a aggressive manner, then let all the extra stuff go. If I got caught up in every name somebody called me, every time somebody said that I was this, that, or the other, honey, it has been said that I was a stripper. It has been said that I was a drug addict. It has been said, oh my God, I was a prostitute. I don't let that stuff bother me because those are words that people use because they have issues within themselves. When people call you names and say stuff to degrade and hurt you inside of them, that's the way they feel. They feel like they're ugly, so they call you ugly to take it off of them. They feel like they're, being dogged out in some sense, so they call you a dog or they call you a bitch or a hoe or whatever they want to call you. That's when you're an innocent person and this happens to you. People do that to try to break you down, but we have to learn that the only thing that we have to do is to live and die. The only two things that are promised to you in life, not that you're going to be rich, not that you're going to have children, not that you're going to be married and have a big fancy house. You're going to live and you're going to die. But how you choose to do what's in between living and dying, then that's what's going to define you. Not being called a nigger, not being called a bitch, not being called a hoe. None of that should matter. People are going to say what they want to say. People are going to feel how they want to feel about you. And what you have to realize is that a lot of times people do that because they're unhappy. Yes, they're unhappy. And misery loves company. When they say ugly things about you, then that makes you feel bad, and then you feel just as bad about your life as they do. So no, as I told this lady, I said, "Ma'am, that doesn't move me." Obviously, she has some issues within herself that made her call whoever the people were she was talking about that type of word. It doesn't bother me because she was not talking about me or anyone that I know. She did not physically put her hands on me and say, hey, you nigger. Then the word would have been translated into something that was aggressive, and then I would have dealt with it. We need to stop letting that word be the trigger word in our lives. There are so many other things that we need to be dealing with in our lives. We need to be educating our black women on how to, our young black women on how to be women. We need to educate our young men on how to be men and how to take care of a household and how to do what God called them to do. And that is keep the order and keep the roof and keep maintenance on their families. It needs to be used on teaching children that no one is supposed to touch you and you're not supposed to be abused. We need to channel energy off of the negative nonsense and name calling and all of that and use that energy to promote happiness and wellness. Was I offended? I was not offended because she said it. I I don't even think I was offended for any reason, but I felt sorry for her because she felt that out of every word she could have called anybody who did anything to her, that that particular word came out of her mouth in such in that type of atmosphere, because there are some people who would get upset and argue with her and want to fight her because she said that, but I have too many other great things in my life to be, to be worried about somebody saying that word. So I just want to challenge everybody, since there are so many challenges out here, to stop the ignorance. We get mad at other races for calling us niggas, but we do it every day, all day. Guilty. We're all guilty. It's a word that flows out of our mouth. But we need to be mindful of the environment that we're using it in any context, because there are some people who still, remember when that word was used as a degrading point for black people, black men, especially because it was more on them than it was on us, because they abused our black men. They beat our black men as they did rape and abuse a black woman back in slavery time. I'm not taking away from that, but I'm just saying it was more to break him down and to make him submissive to the slave owners. So I just want to say I feel like I handled that very well. But for somebody out there who takes offense when the word is said, be offended, but don't react. In the word of God, it said when Jesus came to the temple and he saw all this stuff that was going on, he was angry, but he did not sin. So take that with you wherever you might go. You're going to hear people in conversations say ugly stuff. You're going to hear people to say things you don't like, things that you want to react to, but don't always give them the reaction or the response that they want. She may have known that I was behind her. She may have thought I was gonna tip the life fandango, but it does not matter to me at what she felt I was, who she felt I was, because I know who I am. I love me enough to know that Sonya is not an ignorant person. Sonya is not whatever they think Sonya is. Sonya is who God called her to be, and that is a strong black woman who does not let little things upset her, offend her, and make her get out of character. Realize that the devil wants you out of character. He wants you to act a fool. He wants you to bring attention to your color. And that's what we all are given. A lot of us are given into with the way we react to certain situations. I could have tore that store up with those people. Honestly, I could have. But what I did was I told the people behind me, you're offended. It's okay. She can have this, because unless she approaches me, then I'm okay. Unless she touches me, I'm okay. Because at that point, she became the ignorant person. She became what the dictionary says that word means, and that's an ignorant person and whatever else it says. So let's, within ourselves, let's start loving us enough not to react to every little thing that someone says, because people are going to say what they want to. Sometimes that is to get you to come out of character. Love yourself enough to continue to being the lady or the man that you are. Okay? Have a great day. Thank you for listening.